Hello, folks. This is Ed Spence here at Washington Music Center with my good friend Sebastian, and we're looking at the MOOG ONE. This is an incredible polyphonic analog synthesizer. It comes in two flavors: 8-voice and 16-voice. It is everything analog synthesizer wish it could be. If it was a polyphonic synthesizer, it's insane. Some of the good features about it is that it's Moog. Fat sounds. It has tons of presets because a lot of people don't have time to create sounds. Like traditional analog synthesis was rocket scientists. You did it as you go. Some people may never touch these buttons and these knobs, okay? And you're like, well, why'd I invest this money? Because, like, you could never do that before. This is in dual mode, so it's playing. This is an 8-voice model, so some people say
the 8-voice and the 16-voice model.
Yeah, the keys are different. They're rounded, and they feel good. I like them myself. So you got to come in and try it. If you're doing quick things, it's a really quick action. There's a lot of settings on here. You push a button to engage the new sound. It remembers what you do. So if you tweak something, it has a built-in memory. It has unlimited memory. They're saying that you can just put thousands and thousands of presets in here. So if you're a tweaker, you can just go in, and as you tweak, what I like about it is it has an oscilloscope, so you can see the effect of your change as you're adjusting things in real time. So you can go in. I'm not a deep diver myself. I'm a preset dude. It has a step sequencer built in. A lot of the guys ask me a question about polyphony. Which one should they get? If you are a general chord guy, and because remember, analog synth is not traditionally, it was just bass lines or lead lines.
Lead lines, yeah, exactly.
Right. So this is new territory for most people, no matter who you are. So I would say come in and spend some time and learn like the capabilities of what it can do, and then work backwards. Because if you have an 8-voice and you split it in half, now you're down to 4 voices. So you're one-hand bandit, right? So you're not going to be doing 2-hand layers on an analog synth anyway. You're always going to be doing something in the background or forefront. So keep that in mind, because we're selling more 8 voices than 16 voices. The guys that do buy the 16 voices are the real geeks. They don't play keyboards. Really. They're using this thing, 16 sequencers, moving.
Sound design and stuff.
Right. There's a whole different customer. Like today, I'm dealing with like guys that don't play anything musical. Like this is Eurorack. Those guys are not doing. It's just noise.
Yeah, organized.
I'm sorry, I said noise. For y'all, it's music, but for us,
organized noise.
Yeah. And this one guy let me hear his track. It took him 4 hours to get 2 notes to play in unison, and he was so excited. I said, "You got to be kidding me!" He said, "It took me 4 hours, but I got it." I'm like, "Whoa, that's too much." So 16 voice guys traditionally are not keyboard guys. The 8 voice guys, if you notice, most of the synths we have, they're mostly 8 voices.
Yeah.
You know, most of them. So keep that in mind. Don't think motif and chronos when you think this. An 8 voice will probably suffice 95% of the guys that are playing, all right? Because this is so expensive. You're looking at, what, $6,000 now and $8,000? This is not something that the everyday Joe can just walk in.
Big boy toys, right?
Yeah. This is probably going to be in someone's studio for sound design. You're going to put it on some record that you're working on. And if you're an A-lister and you can just afford this, God bless you, buy me one. You can take it out in the road. They have a case for it. But I just don't see a lot of guys doing that, because traditionally analog synths is a single line, and it has that. So I had some customers that were. They were thinking about the Voyager, some of the older synths. Can you get some of those deep growls? Kind of yes, because the oscillators are here. They're not as deep and fat because they were designing this for more chordal type of things. So if you want that real fat growl, you probably need to go find a Voyager. or a Model D, you know, and but
So they're different beats.
yeah, it's a different beast. Like Moog makes Model 15 that's $35,000. It's a monophonic synth, and then they make the Emerson, which is a $150,000 monophonic synth. It's a different character.
Yeah.
Like Richard Devine has one of those, and he's in there tweaking things like Star Trek, the ships, and the sound designers guys jump all over this stuff. But for the most part, if you want to do some quick chords, fat chords that you could never do with an analog synth, and if you can afford it, this is it. This is it. Again, some people never tweak. This board will make you want to tweak. It will, because one, the knobs they look really good. They did a really well job at it. As you're doing things, you can save things. You got layers and the LCD screen here where you can see what's going on. You got a layer here up front. It's not for everybody, because most of the sounds are not chordal sounds. They are you can hear that. So you got to think about how you're going to use it in your church. Okay, for analog fat bass, if you're just going to use it for bass sounds, I probably wouldn't recommend this. I'd probably get the subsequent series, subsequent 25 or the subsequent 37. That's lighter weight. It's a fifth the cost, and you can travel with it. Now you got your lead lines and your bass lines. This is more of a production piece for the guys in the studio doing some really good production work. And 8 voices so far seems to be the most popular one for guys that play chords. Now, you can do a 16 voice, but even ask Moog, they say most people don't need a 16 voice to do chords. But this is a flagship. It's a beast. I've got it here. And you see, you can come to the store, play it, give you some headphones, so you just play loud, have some fun. Hopefully there's a store in your area that has one where you can put your hands on it. But I think it's worth a look if you can afford it.
Great.